TitleMatchNetwork.com.
So now the move comes where Hulk Hogan comes on board. Okay, now what is the atmosphere when Hulk Hogan comes on board? Is the atmosphere we can compete with WWE? We're gonna be their competitor? Is that the feeling when he comes on board?
Yeah, here again, you said would the one guy make that much difference? Because before Hulk came over, Bobby Heenan came over.
Right.
Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig came over. I mean, a lot of guys came over. But when Hulk got there, kind of a change of attitude.
That's when I started. That's when I started watching.
Yeah, right now, he has arrived, and you know what? It wasn't a real smooth transition, but God, I think he just did so much in such a short span of time for credibility, for distribution of our product internationally.
Right.
You know, Bret Hart came aboard for $3 million a year, and all of a sudden we got all parts of Canada, Germany, and everything, because that's what he could bring to the party.
Right.
Hogan brought Hulkamania to the party.
Sure. Now, at this point in time, I would say I wouldn't call the business in a downward period. Maybe it was 94, 93, 94. It was probably a down period in the business. Hulk Hogan comes on board.
Nothing exciting was happening. I don't think you can say it was a down period.
Right.
You had a lot of pay-per-views between WCW and WWE.
Maybe at that point in time it wasn't as mainstream. It still had its fan base, but maybe not as mainstream. Is that fair?
That's possible, yeah.
Okay. So the thought process of WCW bringing in Hogan is, I would have to think it would almost have to be to compete with WWE. So what's the next step? Like the brain trust of WWE, where it's Vince McMahon, Pat Patterson, Gorilla Monsoon, and they all have these plans. Is there that same kind of brain trust at WCW at that time?
Not really.
Right.
I would not put myself in with a brain trust, even though I didn't have too many ideas that completely, fell on the floor.
Right.
The production values, the minute we signed on with Nitro, Monday night from the Mall of America, Minneapolis, Minnesota, my home, always going back to the scene of the crime.
You can't escape that place.
And loving it.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, I could feel instantly there that something big was happening.
Okay, so the decision to go Monday night head to head, did you agree or disagree?
During that period of time, though, they had 2 weeks where I believe it was USA preempted Raw for the Westminster Dog Show.
Yes.
What a prudent time for us to kind of slide in there.
Very brilliant.
And bring back Lex Luger, who on Sunday night worked in Halifax for the WWE, and on Monday night was a surprise guest on WCW's Monday Nitro.
Right.
With the girls and different flavors, just a little different top spin.
I absolutely loved it. Just being a fan.
Were you in love with any of the Nitro girls?
Of course, Spice. I mean, geez.
Spice, oh.
She was the best.
She's a doctor now.
Remarkable.
Chiropractor.
Beauty and brains.
Yeah.
Is this my play for Spice? Spice. Yes. The chair of reflections is out there. Anytime you want to come sit. Not to take away from you, Mean Junior.
Well, we can talk about these things publicly.
Do you have her number?
I've got that back in my Rolodex.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, maybe off the air.
Yeah.
We can talk about it.
What we do now is text a lot.
For sure. I think if she got a text from me, she'd change her number. But
yeah. And I'm 74, and they're 54.
So the first shots are fired. WCW is here. Monday Nitro, head to head. So you don't have the brain trust. You don't have the I don't want to say brilliance, but you don't have that kind of Vince McMahon hand guiding the ship. So
that made it very, very difficult, because people would try to communicate on what the hell we were doing, and wouldn't know what they're talking about because they didn't know what we were doing.
Right. Now coming from where you came from, this must have been extremely frustrating for you, like just to work.
Yeah, something that's so finely tuned and so well organized, it was noticeable.
Right.
It was noticeable though when I first got there. I got bored to the extent that I put together a little package for the WCW hotline,
Right.
and that's where the money came in.
Okay. So the WCW starts taking shots at the WWE. They start going, I mean, they start doing things really extreme, like giving away taped results and really taking the fight to WWE.
Right.
What are your thoughts about that? Were you on board with that, or
Yeah, I was, only because if I were to, I guess, fight everything that was going to be done, then I wouldn't be a team player.
Okay.
And I always have considered myself a team guy. You have to be. So's Hulk Hogan.
Right.
He may have some definite thoughts on what he wants done, but he'll go along with the quorum,
Right.
if you will. And I think that's what makes those things happen. Even when you have a difference of opinion,
Sure.
that's where the magic comes in.